Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Sunny D. Guys, you want to say hi?
What's going on, good people? It's your boy Clint. You already know. Let's get to it.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles here in the building again. You know, we here. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, we are excited. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Got a lot of petty to get to, all that. So definitely, guys, you guys stay tuned in. If you're listening right now, you're on blogtalkradio.com/GST Radio Show. And I got that right, so Clint, set your shady ass up.
I was about to say something.
It's always a test with Sunny to make sure she gets it right. That's all. It's always a test.
Anywho, today is December 14th, 2017. See, now you made me forget. Y'all, your shadiness is in my head. From that whole post is in my head, Clint. Shut up. I hear it. Anywho, if you guys want to chime in on our conversation at any time, phone lines will be open, 657-383-1155. And if you're on Twitter and you want to tweet us at GFT_radio, would y'all like to get into how your week was, or we jumping right into the topics?
I mean, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I like to get right into it.
But hold on. Before we get to it, I do want to say this. Y'all need to be copying some GFT merch. Go to teespring.com/stores/GFT radio and get y'all some merchandise.
Fact, though. You feel me? Support the brand. We support y'all.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Help us, help you, help us.
Help us. What was that? Help us, help you, help us?
Exactly. Yes. For real talk, we need your support. You know, we're here to bring you the best topics, all the best advice.
Yeah, we definitely trying to expand.
Help us keep this thing going.
Yes, sir.
On top of, help us help the community.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right.
So, are we getting into how everybody's week was really quick, or we going to jump right into the topic?
Let's jump right into the topic.
All right,
yeah,
so we're going to start how we started this off before the podcast even came live on the air. We were talking about people and their various sexual assault allegations or rape allegations. And first we want to start with our president, Commander Cheeto, as we like to call him. What y'all think about that fool?
I mean, well, we already knew what he was before before the allegations
before he got started.
Came out. Yeah, so what I mean, he with the women coming out against him, that was just real obvious to me. You know what I mean? It was only a matter of time. And he one of the main things he was getting on him during his campaign was, is joint grabbing by the pussy. So we already know what type of, what type of
man he was. Yeah.
Yeah, that explained everything. So allegations as far as he goes, it doesn't surprise me at all.
I don't think it shouldn't surprise anybody at this point. Like you said, the whole election we had this shit. People still elected him. And now y'all like, oh, and now all the other people, now they say even more women have been coming out lately.
Yeah, but,
Half of y'all voted for him anyway, so I don't understand, what the hell.
Yeah.
I'm mad at some black folks for voting for him. Whatever. But, I can't really control everyone.
Yeah,
huh?
But the problem I think we have is the standard that we hold these people to, right? And in the situations that either help us make our decisions versus make things more socialize. Trying to be more socially conscious, right? And I think with the Trump situation, a lot of people either ignored it, didn't want to believe it, or it wasn't enough in the forefront as a real nationwide problem for them to feel like it was enough to take that man off his pedestal. The problem with the Trump factory is that you got a lot of poor people who respect rich, and they felt like just because he was rich, that he was successful, and just because they had this presumed or this presumed success story in their head, they felt like he could be a leader in this country. And as we see, there's been so many issues. I've never seen an administration, even in a 4-year administration, have so many resignations, scandals, issues, and everything like that in less than a year. I think that administration had more scandals in the first 60 or 90 days. 100 days. That's how they measure it. In the first 100 days than any of the last 3 administrations had their whole term. So maybe even combined. So it's been just utter turmoil living under this presidential administration, as well as knowing, like you said, knowing that people voted for this administration under the knowing the type of misogynistic, racist, admitted sexual assaulter, even though he likes to spin it as boy talk in the locker room, and then locker room talk, however he wanted to put it. But then he'll turn around and go off on Al Franken and a couple others and say how wrong they are, even though this is the same thing he purported to Billy Bush that he did it on a regular basis, and is now being called out on it, like you said, about all these various women. Without ramification, which is one, unfortunate, but 2, unacceptable. So I think it's there's a lot there that went on. I talked to a few people that had voted for him, black and white, and their consensus was they felt the administration that Trump was either building or promising to build was going to be a better administration than what they felt Hillary Clinton could have brought to the table, because they, were so strongly against Hillary Clinton and the Clintons in general, Democrats in general. So they felt that the caveat of having Trump in office will be overshadowed by a strong administration and a strong White House, Capitol Hill relationship, because of the Republicans running Capitol Hill and then having a supposed Republican, as we found out, he's not really a Republican, in the White House as well. So it's, but basically, bottom line is people did things based on assumptions and presumptions, and unfortunately, it's not the way to have a country ran, and unfortunately, it's not the way to choose a president, as we can see. So we have a lot of problems.
Here's my thing about the whole Trump thing, especially back then, because we're talking about sexual harassment as well. The culture is different now than it was back then. Let's say like 20 years ago. A lot of women are coming out now with allegations with all these, with Trump, Russell Simmons, all these dudes are getting outed for sexual harassment. Some of them, we also have to state, we have to be honest, they have to be proven first. We already know what Trump is. Trump already told us what he was. So, you feel me? I don't care if 100 women came out and 99 lied. He already told us that he at least did it to one person. And that's enough. One woman assaulted is enough. You understand? Yeah. So, my thing is, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second. Because I was listening to a conversation on a podcast earlier about it, and, a guy made a good point, and he was, and it wasn't, I know it's not going to be a popular opinion. He was like, back then, when all that was going down, some of these women knew what type of men they were dealing with, right? And some of them put themselves in those positions. You feel me? Because even with because we was talking about Russell Simmons before the show started, and Russell said when he was initially got got accused, like, okay, I was a different dude back then, maybe this stuff. That's why I say the culture was different, and I love it. When I first, I would love to hear Sonny perspective on it, because dude said something earlier. He was like, some women went to these hotel rooms and to some of these parties that was already shady. You feel me? And the dudes he was talking to, well, they was making a point to say, well, they was protecting their jobs. And he was like, well, why, why would you put your safety in jeopardy over a job? You know what I mean? Like, why would you put yourself in that position? Now, I'm not trying to victim shame. I'm not trying to absolve no man from assaulting no women. But what I'm saying is, you put yourself in that position, and then, you don't say nothing for 20 years.
Well, see.
And then you have all these women coming out. And I'm sorry, I believe, I believe a lot of it is true. I was one of the ones that was against Bill Cosby. Like, I fully believe Bill Cosby he raped some of them women. But a lot of these women are just jumping on the bandwagon. And we destroying families and careers. One of these politicians, the white dude, and I forget, is it Alabama that killed himself?
Oh, the guy killed himself in Kentucky, yeah. Yeah,
he killed himself. He vehemently denied, but we'll never know. I don't really have no. He killed himself, so you never know. That could be a sign of guilt. But all these allegations coming out, and I feel like we need proof. You got to prove it to me with some of these. Some of these dudes, by their actions, by the way they carry themselves, you feel me? Especially the ones that's really dismissive with it, you feel me? You had the report. I need y'all to check out about what they just said about ESPN. You feel me? They said the culture was so bad there that one of the ladies, she had a miscarriage, and she still did her show as she was having a miscarriage, because she had to feel that she was just, to show her commitment to the company. And it was showing her, like, how foul, and my thing is the culture. We grew up in like a patriot, this is a real chauvinistic culture.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Patriarchal, that's the word I was looking for. So it's like, we got to get away from that. But it's not just up to the man, it's up to some of these women too. Because just like y'all pointed out about the voting, the guy in Alabama, everybody know what type of man he was, what he was accused of, and still 63% of white women voted for him. You understand? Like 63% of white women. 53% of white women voted for Trump. Like, that's crazy.
Right. Yeah, so here's my thing on that, and I thought through that process a long time ago when this all really started to come to, well, we were thinking it was coming to a head, but this head continues to get bigger. But I was thinking through that process because I was thinking kind of, it's not the same way, but you know what I mean? I was thinking kind of in the same vein of, was it part of their responsibility to do something either to shield themselves, like you said, don't go out on a limb or put yourself in danger for a job, versus or not saying anything and whatnot. So this is what I came up. This is the conclusion I came to in both of those regards. For one, when it comes to the job situation, you have to keep in mind that not everyone is as confident and comfortable in losing a job as everybody else. There's so many factors that you have to think about when it comes to when people have their financial stability on the line, or if they're trying to build a name for themselves, like in a situation where Harvey Weinstein was taking advantage of the women in his care. So a lot of the situations that these people were put into, they were all relying on these men, I'm waiting on a woman to be brought out on one of these, because I'm sure it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to say something. But anyway, let's go back to the main topic at hand. It comes down to professionalism and a lack thereof. So this rolls into the next problem. The next problem is this: the reason these women didn't quote-unquote, say anything, which we did find out a lot of them did. That's the problem, is that a lot of them did say something. And it wasn't that a lot of them held this information back. Some probably didn't take it to the police, or probably didn't, try to put it out in the news or whatever, because we did find out that a lot of these women did say something. A lot of women, especially with the Harvey Weinstein situation, initially there was, all these reports about the women who were reporting him. They had already had their story out there. I mean, what's her name, Rose McGowan's story has been common knowledge for decades. So you're talking about a situation that just snowballed because he kept getting away with it. When you continue to get away with these things, you continue to do them, and it just either gets worse or it gets more low key. Whatever the case may be, like in a situation where Kevin Spacey, who's also a known offender, also had been talked about before, but it became hushed because it was like, hey, what you gonna do about it? This is Hollywood, or this is TV, or this is accounting. You know what I mean? So there's so many factors now when it comes to, like you said, accountability, right? Accountability is true. But that's also another reason why the women who didn't say anything would not say things, because they might feel like, and I was watching, it was a show I was watching, what's her name? I think her name is Megan or Kelly or something like that.
Megan Kelly?
Yeah. Megyn Kelly spoke on that. The fact is, a lot of, for her thing was she felt ashamed of even being in the situation. There was an article or interview I was watching about another victim who said kind of the same thing. And that's the thing, when you're in a situation and you try to take accountability for that situation, it will cause you to shut down and to either hide or ignore or try to put things under covers to keep people from knowing about it. Because the thing is, at that point, you feel responsible, right? When you try to take accountability for a situation that you've been in that is not your fault, 100% your fault. Yeah, you may have put yourself in a situation going to a hotel room with a man who, after you got in there with him and a group of people, he sent everybody else away. At some point, that person that's the victim is going to try to hide that, because they're going to feel ashamed of the situation, because they're going to say, well, I did put myself in that situation, but it's up to that man to be a man, right? And it's up to that man to be professional. Exactly. But we're looking at it from the outside of saying, hey, should you have done this, or should you have done X, Y, Z that ended up resulting in ABC? We have to assume that person's already done that to themselves, because most women that you hear in these interviews, that's the first thing they mention is, what did I do? How did I put myself into this? What did I do to cause this? But that shouldn't be their burden. It should be the burden of that man that assaulted them. It should be the burden of that person who didn't listen or didn't push forward their complaints, or the laundry list of complaints that some of these other victims have done against people, where companies and big business and corporate America, where they've made these complaints and then they were swept under the rug. Schools are the worst. Colleges are the worst ones, worst offenders at that, of sweeping things under the rug. Your complaint goes no further than whoever you reported it to. So so these are all variables that cause these stories to go unheard for so long. Now, as for today's situation, or in the last few months, the situation is this: we're in a day and age, and especially this last couple of months, where public opinion is all you can depend on. Public opinion and social media is the only court that is getting results, right?
Yeah.
So that's why they're jumping out and doing it. That's the main reason. Think about it like this: if you and a bunch of friends were going to jump off the roof of a house, and as scary as that sounds, you're going to jump off a 2-story house, most of them start doing it, and they don't get hurt. Doesn't that give you courage? Doesn't that make you feel like, well, maybe I can do this? Maybe it's not so bad. Then you find out there's a mattress down there, and there's a trampoline or something that's going to break your fall. this is what the women are going through right now. They're seeing that there's public opinion to fall on. There's people who care and are concerned now that it's now that it's the thing, right? It's the trend. You know, we got to be concerned about this. We got to do something about this. We got this outcry. There's movements, right, built around this thing. The Me Too movement. I forgot the words that they use, but there's a couple other translations that they use, and all of these different movements that are out there, it's protecting them, and now they know that it's okay to tell, and now they know that there's no ramification for them, only ramifications for their assaulter, right? So now they feel more confident. Now they feel like they can get out there and say something, and also not have the stigma or the victim shaming and the eventual retaliation that would have came years ago or even months ago. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's the problem with the Trump thing. I almost now feel like if this situation could have been moved back to 2016, September or June of 2016, or not 15, we'd have a whole different administration in office right now, because things would have escalated with Trump, and he would have been knocked off the ballot. But unfortunately, you know, we're not. You know, we're at a time where he's already in office, and you know, some of his victims feel slighted by the situation because they feel like, you know, they blew the whistle on Trump, you know, as early as, you know, recently rather as a couple years ago, when he shouldn't have been voted into office, but it didn't make a difference, right? You know, but we didn't have this atmosphere. This atmosphere right now, it supports this movement. And, you know, so this is why you have the bandwagon effect going on. Does it all have to be proven? I personally feel like it does to a point. But like you said, you also know some of these men. And some of these men we know are in industries that allowed this type of behavior and propagated a lot of this behavior and made it the thing, right? So, you know, unfortunately for them, everybody's just going to roll with it because this is what we expected of you, and now we're seeing this is the truth. You know, now the people who we didn't expect it from, it's a little harder pill to swallow. A lot of people, you know, like you said, with Bill Cosby, they didn't want to swallow that pill. A lot of people didn't want to swallow the pill of Kevin Spacey until it really came out, you know, and then Kevin Spacey made that off comment about, oh, you know, this happened because I was gay. Like, dog, you can't say that. One. Two, you know, now you have not only Anthony Rapp, but you got 5 other guys saying the same thing about you. This isn't about, you know, you being gay. This is about you being a creep and you being over the top, right? You know. So I think it's the atmosphere now, right? And you know, at this point, all we can do is support the atmosphere and hope that nobody gets ran over by it. You know, there's a few people who are getting ran over by it right now, like we were just talking in the pre-show, you know, and I think that's the unfortunate side effect. But it's going to be, you know, now it's on them to prove to the court of public opinion that they haven't done, you know, wrong, and hopefully can salvage their careers. But it's, you know, it's one of those things. It's an avalanche, right? And it's rolling.
Huh? Well, I feel like this. I feel like this. Back in the day, it was a lot. It was basically a man's world, and a lot of these fields, especially with politicians in the music industry, and sports, and acting, and all this stuff. So it was dominated mostly by men, and men were treated treated differently. Even like, you know, they still fighting for women to get paid equally as men. So it was a male-dominated area, and you did have these men using their power, and at the end of the day, it was understood that if you did certain things, your career excelled for some people. But I feel like even if you hear a rumor of someone being some way, if you feel like you're a strong woman, you think that can't happen to you. You see what I'm saying? Like, you feel like it's just like you want to try that with me type of situation. And it's almost like a situation of, to me, it's more, most of these things that are coming out, it's like a situation borderline of date rape. Like, you go on a date with a guy, everything's good, you guys are having a great time, you know, you chill, you eat some dinner, you go back to their place and you just hang out, thinking that that's just all that's going to happen. And then it goes left. And date rape is probably one of the hardest ones to fight, because you were in that person's space because you felt comfortable, and then it just went left out out of nowhere. It's some situations like mirror that. You think that it's okay. It's like you think that sometimes in your mind you think that this can't happen to you.
Good point.
Like you just, huh?
I said that's a good point.
Yeah, like and you think that you think that this person is really like some of these guys. People thought they were really trying to help them. Some people were, and he got like a lot of naive. A lot of them girls that were trying to get into the acting field back then were young, so they thinking that okay, this person really is really selling me the dream. I really believe in it. Really gonna get me where I gotta go. Not realizing what's happening, or not fully understanding, because you gotta realize most of these people were like really young, or like at early teenagers or late teenagers trying to get into this business and not really fully grasping or not having people that really gave a fuck about them to make sure that they were okay. Some of them were older, so it's a little bit different because you think that, like I said, and in some situations it could be that you think that you're a strong person, it's not going to happen to you, or you going to be fine, and then shit just go left. So it's kind of like how things happen. And I it's a situation where like I know from my personal experience, from when I got raped when I was younger, I found out later on down the line. Mind you, I went to the cops. There was a whole this situation that happened with me where the person that was had custody at the time didn't pursue anything. It didn't nothing happen from that. But I found out later on that it happened to someone else previous to me, and if that person was allowed to speak up and get things out, it probably wouldn't have happened to me. So you gotta in those situations where like Willie said, some of these allegations were already made aware. It's almost like how they do in college. You tell somebody in charge and they don't do shit because someone says, oh no, he can get like even with the Kobe situation when that girl accused him of assaulting her, raping her, whatever. Oh no, he's powerful. He's a good-looking guy. He can get anybody. Some of these people are so used to hearing yes that when somebody tells them no, they're like, nah, I'm so. You can't tell me no. So you have to be like, you know what I'm saying? It's different situations for different people. I do believe that it's some people that are lying mixed in the crew, and that messes up for everybody else. But at the same time, you got to look at how, like, I'm watching SVU for, like, the last couple of weeks, all like, nonstop, like, you know, Netflix binging. But you also get where you get the people like this when it comes to something like that, sexual assault or rape. When you take it to court, it's no holds barred. They will assassinate your character. So back then, even if you went and brought up an allegation and it went to court, they're gonna slander anything. They're going through your sexual history. If you was fucking millions of people at one time, or people left and right, and then this one person have a break to you, oh no, well you was fucking everybody, you know? Like they bring all that up. So I think that now people held it in, and now they're bringing it out now to avoid other people from getting hurt. But also because back then, if they had brought it out and they were into some shit that other people weren't into, that was all being brought out. And then people look under this and like, oh, you might have wanted it, stuff like that. So you got to be mindful that rather than do that, they waited and now they're going out to the public because, and like I said, court of public opinion. Once somebody, like, if 5 people come up and say you a crackhead, bitch, you a crackhead. Like 10,000 people said you're a crackhead, you're a crackhead. You know? Like, right, stuff like that. True, so true. It's more of a trial by jury in the public eye. Like I said, when Willie was talking, it's like, if I bring it out in the public, you can't, like, it's up to public opinion. Because once I say it, it might empower other people that had that issue with you too, pop up and say, oh yeah, it happened to me too. This happened to me and he did this, and then the stories start matching. If we don't know each other from a can of paint, and about 10 of us came up with similar stories or similar patterns of behavior, or we don't know each other, it's not 10. It's real. Like, this is really happening. Right. So it sucks because now we bombarded with the last couple of months of sexual allegations after sexual allegation, people losing jobs, people doing all this stuff, people getting stepped down. Like, some people we knew was going to happen. Like, when Russell Simmons got caught up, I'm like, I'm not even surprised. I was not surprised. I was like, oh, my God, Russell. Oh, my God, he didn't know that nigga was fucking Kimora when she was young. She wasn't grown. She was a little kid. Mm-hmm. She was probably my daughter, my niece's age when they met. So, like, I don't know what her mom was doing or whatever like that, but that's just crazy. But
that's another thing.
And that's that's also too. Because I remember growing up, this one girl I grew up with, she was Puerto Rican. Her mom let her have a boyfriend. This man was a grown ass man, and the girl was younger than me. And I was just like, oh no, that's crazy. And I didn't understand it. I don't know if it's a culture thing, but it was happening and it was cool.
I remember in high school, a good friend of mine, female, we used to always walk home from school together. You feel me? But her boyfriend, mind you, at this time, we was probably like juniors.
Mm-hmm.
Her boyfriend, like 24.
Yeah.
24, 25. You know what I mean? And it was cool with everybody. Like, nobody said nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody said nothing. So, like I said, like you said, the culture has changed. And even to this day, some that still goes on. Especially, in, what I mean, in the hood. And it's weird that happened. It's weird that we allow that to happen and not too many people speak up about it. You know what I mean? But my thing with all these allegations is, like we was specifically before we started, we was talking about
Tavis Smiley.
Yeah, Tavis Smiley. Now Tavis, he jumped right out ahead of it soon. He made him a little video. He was like, listen, I understand that to all you women that have been abused, I'm totally against it. He said, but these allegations against me are false. You feel me? The investigation was handled improperly, and that's my issue with the whole thing. It's like I know a lot of these women are telling the truth because we as a man and as a young boy growing up, that culture was breeded into us. We seen it. You know what I mean? We lived it. We know about that locker room talk. You know what I mean? Because we were a part of it, let's be honest. Because we thought it was okay. But my thing is, I know for a fact, and we knew back then that when some of those women came out, and when a lot of women came out, it was proven that some women had lied.
Yeah.
It was proven that they had lied. And that's my only thing. It's like, we have to change the culture, but, we can't just kill everybody yet. You know what I mean? Everybody just can't, lose everything yet. It still has to be proven. Innocent until proven guilty. Because I just don't want people, because you used the analogy of a crackhead, if everybody say you're a crackhead. But you got to take who's saying it. Are those people?
You do. You do, but.
You know what I mean? Are those people, like a lot of people may say stuff about me, but you got to ask yourself, do them people really know me?
Yeah, no, I get that.
Right.
You feel me? Have them people ever even sat down? Like, we all have had a perceptions about somebody until we sat down and talked to them and be like, whoa. Not just talk to them, hung around them and see how they move. Be like, whoa, either for the good or for the bad. We may have thought somebody was a real good dude, but then we start hanging around, like, nah, this is a foul individual right here. You feel me? Or we may have thought somebody was horrible, and we start hanging around them like, nah, he not as bad or she not as bad as they make her out to be. You know what I mean? And the reason why I bring up, like, some women, like, women have to take responsibility as well for this problem, because I know y'all seen a joint I posted on IG where it was at a birthday party for the little boy.
Yeah, I saw it. I was so disgusted by that.
Yeah, see, and this is as a young boy. I'm pretty sure Willie could attest to this too. As a young man, I had older women hit on me and saying inappropriate things to me all the time. The problem was
my boyfriend and all that.
Yeah. I remember I was in a store one time, and it was this girl. I remember this vividly. She actually was dealing with my uncle. You feel me? Mm. But we in the store, and she looked at me, and she was like, "Boy, when you get 18, I'm gonna do something to you." This, that, like. I'm like, whoa. Now, mind you, at this time, I'm like 12, 13. You know what I mean? I just smiled. And then her friend, like, she had, when I say my uncle, and I want to put it in context because I don't want to overstate it, this particular uncle was probably like 5 years older than me. You know what I mean? Right. You feel me? So she was like 18, 19 at the time. You feel me? So when she said that, I'm like, wow. And the girls that was there with her little girl, they all laughed. You know what I mean? It's a big difference between the 12, 13-year-old and the 18, 19-year-old. You know what I mean? That's a huge difference growing up. That was just one situation. I had situations with some of my mom friends when she bring, oh, he's such a cutie. They touching me, you know what I mean, doing all this type of stuff. Now, as a father, I dare one of my boys to come in here and touch my daughter, pinch her cheeks and all this type stuff. Like, bro, you wilding right now.
Right,
exactly. Like that. You feel me? We ain't never that cool. I ain't never that cool with nobody. Don't be touching my daughter like that. Don't talk to her like that. Right. That same energy has to be applied to our young boys because if it don't, what happens? We start as young boys, we start looking at women totally different at that point. Oh, certain things might be okay. You know what I mean? You start now. That boy in that video, he gonna look at women as a sexual object. It's just somebody gonna have to sit him down and like really talk to him and retrain his brain.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You feel me? Because it's being because not only is it reinforced by male, because you know when I look at it, let me be quite honest. My first sexual encounter was with an older woman, so technically I really was molested. You understand me?
Yeah.
Technically, I really was molested. But what I get, a wink and a gun from the fellas. That's what I'm talking about, Playboy. You feel me? Got a wink and a gun from the fellas, seal of approval. You know what I mean? And you know
that's exactly why. Right, and it's funny because I was watching SVU the other day, and this guy got raped by his parole officer, and his soon-to-be wife was like, she was pregnant by him. She was like, how the hell you get raped? You like that's stupid. I don't believe you. Like she swore up and down he was lying, like a lot of them swore up and down he was lying, and it comes out he was telling the truth. And it's like it was so like even to bring that to trial to convince 12 jurors that this man was actually raped by a female is what's like that's one of the most hardest cases to prove because it's like how can you perform, and it's like your body does whatever the fuck it wants to do. You could not be into it. Your body's like, I bet we here.
Exactly.
So like they had to explain to him it was involuntarily. He shouldn't be ashamed. And it's like, and as I say, it's so hard for men. Like it's men that get raped as well, but they don't speak up about it, especially when it becomes another man raping another man, because then it confuses them. What makes me? I had one of my good guy friends tell me his mom's boyfriend raped him, and he was so confused, even in his adulthood, because he wanted to know what made him attracted to another man. As a boy, like was he gay? He struggled with that for years, and even as an adult, he was like it was bothering him. And he didn't tell a lot of people because he was like, you know, what were they gonna think of me? They gonna think I'm gay. They gonna like something like that's one like, and I think that's the most horrible thing. That's why I said, and that's why I agree, Clint. I'm waiting for a female to come and get thrown under the bus and saying that she was raping men and shit like that because that's really happening. It really does happen.
Yeah.
And a lot of men don't
like
when you tell us a man or somebody female raped me. What? Yeah, no, I was raped. Whatever, like how? Like that's the first. Like people don't believe that, and it happens.
Right. I mean, sometimes you don't even believe it yourself. I mean, because it seems like something that's either like you said, either you feel like, or maybe my body wanted it. Maybe it was something that I wanted that and I didn't know, or this sounds ludicrous even to me to think. I mean, I've been in a situation where I was. Intoxicated, and a female wasn't, and, she took advantage of the situation. At that time, I didn't think it was assault or that it was, inappropriate or that it was something that she shouldn't do. You know what I mean? I didn't think of it that way, even though I knew at the time that if you did that to a woman, that was not, that wasn't cool, that was assault or whatever the case may be. But the thing was, in my mind, I didn't associate it the same, back the other direction. You see what I'm saying? I just felt like, well, hey, it is what it is, And, I mean, I literally woke up in this woman's foreign bedroom, like I didn't even know how I got there because I was so drunk that, she took me to her house, did whatever she wanted, and the thing was is like I didn't even associate it as a problem. And it's because of, like you said, it's the way we're programmed. You know, if I was to tell my boy like, oh yeah, I ended up at such and such a house, oh man, that's what's up. Like, well, I was drunk and you know she just took me over there. Oh, even better. Like, you know, I mean, they would hype it up. You know, it would be quote unquote cool at that point. It wouldn't be no problem. I mean, you talking? I was like 22, 23, and you know this woman's 40 years old, and it's like I didn't know what to even think other than, okay, you know, it's just something that's gonna happen, you know, or not gonna happen, but that happened, you know, not even thinking like that. But it's like you said, it's society, it's you know, and it works the other way around. Like you said, I think Clint mentioned is that, you know, when you're in that situation where, you know, the locker room talk and the guys are saying, oh, you know, go do this, go do that, and you know, it's cool to do this, and you know, and you do it, and then people let you get away with it, or people allow it to continue to happen, then, you know, it becomes the norm. It becomes the norm in your mind, and now, unfortunately, people are getting hurt behind it, you know. So it's one of those things that it's, you know, we got to deprogram this out of our society of allowing these kind of things to happen. And this is why this is important in this day and age of having, you know, this stuff show up on social media, on the news, and so on and so forth, because it allows people to realize that these things are a problem. Like I said, you know, it took me some years to realize that was an issue, that I had, you know, that shouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? That it wasn't cool for her to do that. You know, and it took seeing it on TV, seeing, you know, the reports when they started really. I think this was when it was something that happened at a college, and it was a big thing. It was like some guys had raped a girl while she was intoxicated, and but basically the one guy was her boyfriend, the other guy was a friend of hers or whatever, a friend of his rather. I'm sorry, take it back, a friend of his, and they made it was like a big huge thing on the news, and it finally hit me like, dang, you know, and that was the biggest part of the case was they did this while she was inebriated. You know, it had nothing to do with the fact that if she you know acted like she wanted, or she acted like it was okay, or she didn't fight it off. Like, you can't fight something off if you're not in your right mind or if you're incapacitated. You know what I'm saying? And then right behind that, there was the things about the people being incapacitated, you know, to the point where they couldn't even, you know, help themselves. That kind of stuff, you know, having it out there makes you start to realize where there's a problem at, because all this time you've been told, oh, this is okay, or this is not a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's essential. You know, it's important. You know, and then now we can teach this to our kids. We can teach this to society that this stuff is not okay. You know, you can't just because you have this power doesn't mean you should lord it over somebody, or just because you got this job situation locked down, you can't, you know, use that as a way to get sexual favors, or, you know, whatever the case. Or the new thing, and I was like, man, I know I've seen this in my workplace plenty of times, even now. I mean, I just watched a woman do this to a guy the other day. It's people at the workplace with or you know, people in general saying, oh, you know, give me a hug, and you know, you got to hug me, I don't handshake. And I mean, it's programmed in you that you know, you're not going to like file a sexual harassment case on that, right? You know, but it's like we as a society have to realize that you just can't do that to everybody. You know, I mean, like I said, I just literally watched a woman do that to a guy like the other day, like 2 days ago. He went to give her a handshake, and she's like, "Oh, you know, I don't shake hands, I hug," and she hugs him and stuff. And it's like, what if that guy didn't want to be hugged by her? What if he didn't want her body touching his body? You know what I'm saying? I mean, he laughed it off and did it, but you know, I'm like, you know, that's the crazy part is that, you know, this is the kind of stuff that we are programmed, right, and programmed into us, and that we allow because we've watched it be allowed, or we've seen it done to us, or we've, you know, heard that it's okay from other people telling us, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it, or he's just like that, don't worry about him, or, you know, oh, yeah, he does this, it's cool, we all accept it. We have to realize it's not cool. You know, I mean, I've done stuff as a kid, as a young man, And I'm ashamed of now to think that, you know, it was something that I thought was okay back then because I was young, right? And it's like, okay, you know, when you a kid and you told, oh, go do this and go do that, you know, and then you go do it, and it's like now you're like, oh man, I was an idiot, you know. But it was, you know, you're like you said, your friends or your people around you, you know, or the things that you say. I mean, I've, you know, been in conversations, you know, like you said, the locker room thing. You get in those conversations and you hype up the stuff, or you know, tell somebody, oh, yeah, dog, you know, do that. And it's like, now I look back like, I should have never told him to do that. Or I should have told him, you know, I should have, you know, been the one to speak up and say, no, that's not cool. We shouldn't do this. We shouldn't talk about this, you know, or you just sit back and don't do anything at all. That's one thing I've been teaching my kids lately is don't sit back and watch people do stuff. You know, my son got in trouble the other day for just sitting back. And I'm like, this is the problem. You can't just sit back and then expect people to say that you're innocent. You're not innocent because the thing is you knew better. You knew better and you didn't say anything, and that's almost as bad as doing it. So
exactly. I just had that discussion with my niece and my daughter. We were talking. Coincidentally, again, I'm keep saying because we've been watching it for like the last week with Law and Order. We talked about that, and I said that, you know, it was a case where the a boy attacked it, like they got into arguing with a transgender and ended up killing a transgender person. I said, but you understand that as that crowd watched that person be assaulted and things like, and essentially killed, you know, you can get charged for stuff like that. You have to be mindful that if that were you, I would worry and I would hope that somebody would say something and help you.
Yeah, true. That's a good segue. Into something else I want to talk about, because that's basically what you're talking about, bullying.
Yeah.
And I guess we got on that topic because, you know, everybody heard about what happened to Keaton Jones.
Yeah.
And, you know, the story, you know, and you know.
Don't be like that.
Listen, people. I'm gonna be the odd man. I'm gonna be the one y'all hate on this subject, and I'm gonna say it because I really feel this way. Fuck Keaton Jones. Fuck Lil Keaton. You feel me? And I said,
me and Clint had this debate. We had a debate about this.
I mean, now,
he mean that from the bottom of his heart.
Yes.
Fuck Keaton Jones. I didn't hear him. That's what he did really say that. He really did say fuck little Keaton Jones.
Listen.
That's a pig, Clint.
No, listen.
It's a baby.
You know, listen. The boy looked like he called a lot of people nigga in his day. You feel me?
You say he looked like
you like 12. You like 11 and 12.
It looked like he 12 years. Looked like he done said probably nigga more than me. You feel me? So this is my thing with it. Me and Sonny had a little debate. You said you can't blame a child. You have to blame his parents. You know, and cool. All right, I the parents definitely take a lot of blame, you know. But at some point, he got to be held accountable too. And my thing is, nah. Sometimes, you feel me? Listen, we all been through it growing up. You know, can't never one of y'all tell me y'all ain't have an issue with somebody growing up trying to, you know what I mean, think he bigger and badder than you or she bigger and badder than you.
I beat a lot of people up like that. A lot of people got knocked the fuck out fucking with me. I was small as shit, and I was literally, my nickname in middle school was Scarecrow. You seen it in my yearbook. But I was knocking bitches out. I was knocking bitches and bitches out. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But, you know what I mean, like, bullying is wrong, okay? Bullying is wrong. But let's go back to when we was kids. I mean, because for some reason adults forget, like, when we was kids, you feel me? You knew it was some foul kids.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then it was always that one person who always picked on everybody, and then when the tables turned, they wanted to play the victim role. Yeah, they wanted to play the victim role. My issue with that whole Keaton Jones situation was, first of all, I had a bad vibe, is that his mom is recording him and putting this on social media. You feel me? It felt like a setup from the get-go. You feel me? It felt like a setup from the get-go.
You sound like my mother
you know,
saying that.
Yeah, it just felt like a setup. And, I have protect, and it ain't because he's white. Because I remember this white boy when I was growing up, elementary, dudes used to pick on him. You know what I mean? His name was Daniel. I'll never forget it. You know what I mean? He was defenseless. He was scared. He's the only, little white boy in class. And I'm like, nah, man, leave him alone. It's he's not going to fight y'all. You feel me? He's scared to death of y'all. So what are y'all going to get from just picking on him? Just leave him alone. You know what I mean? So I understand where the bullying come from. But at the end of the day, you feel me? It's like all these people got up in the arms over him. That's what pissed me off about it. It's like all these celebrities, this man got a GoFundMe account. Meanwhile, in Colorado, a little black girl, Ashanti Davis, hung herself for being bullied. Meanwhile, a couple of days later, after that, when it was on a story in Norton, New Jersey, Imani McCrae hangs herself. Where's, you feel me? Where's all the outpour and outcry then? You know what I mean? Come on now. It was way too much. It was way too. To me, it felt like a setup. It felt like a setup. You know what I mean? That's why I had no pity for him. Especially when I found out, his parents racist. He out there with the Confederate flag. You feel me? He knew what he was doing. He old enough. Is he old enough to make that video and articulate himself? Go look at that. He knew exactly what he was saying. You feel me? Right. He knew exactly what he was saying. I remember being 12. I knew what I was saying.
On Twitter, they pointed out it was a black boy. He did the same thing, and nobody said anything to him. But he really clearly articulated how he felt about people bullying him because he didn't wear the latest Jordans and stuff. But he was, conserving himself. It was the same thing.
Black boy broke it down too, didn't he?
Yeah.
He broke it down. I know what you're talking about. He broke it all the way down.
So they're basically saying when he said it wasn't nothing, but this boy does it just because the black boy wasn't crying, his wasn't as effective. And my thing was, what was
I think also because that Keaton Jones boy sounded like he was developmentally disabled, so I think people assumed that was what he was getting bullied for. At least that's how I was looking at it. And I've seen a few people make mention of that, oh, you're special, being special makes you different or makes you better than them or something like that. I've seen a bunch of comments like that.
Yeah, a lot of celebrities were saying they special too. But here's my standpoint on being on that whole thing. This is why me and Clint had a little back and forth. And I agree that you have to kind of see the wider picture of things. I get it. And I guess I understand from a mom point of view why his mom wanted to make that video to let her son speak his truth or how he felt about what was going on with him. I don't know how true it was, but because the school principal ended up saying there wasn't that much bullying, like the boy made it out to be, it was just normal kid bullying shit. But anyway, taking into the fact that he probably was being bullied. Okay, she wanted her son to voice his thoughts and express himself and be able to do it without fear. Okay, so she posted social media. That's fine. What I don't understand, my only problem with this, other than the Confederate flag, which is the obvious thing from his mother and all stuff like that, I feel like if you teach your kids to hate, you raise your kid to hate, that's what they're going to do because they don't know no different because that's what you taught them. Even if they see different, you're bringing them up in a household full of hate. Besides that fact, why make a GoFundMe account? What was the purpose of that? And, I don't understand that. You let him voice his opinion. People offered to do things for him. Great. To make him, to uplift his spirits and stuff like that, make him feel special and somebody actually give a fuck about him and fuck them bullies. Get that. What was the whole purpose of the GoFundMe account? Because there's a lot of, and I look at GoFundMe accounts, I know people that make GoFundMe accounts. I just don't respect them to a certain extent, depending on what they're for. If your cousin was out gangbanging, and he got killed, and now you got to go for him because he didn't make no life insurance, all that drug selling he was doing, stuff he was doing, and he ain't saying no money for life insurance. I'm not supporting you to go for me. Nah, I'm not about to fucking do it. If you're an adult and you just don't work and you need help with money, I'm not fucking helping you. I don't understand why she made a GoFundMe account because she got kids to raise. I seen your pictures on Facebook, boo boo, before you make the page private. Y'all had better clothes than I had. You know,
right.
I don't see why I need to support
this is the problem with the GoFundMe account. It actually wasn't her GoFundMe account. This was created by some guy who decided that he decided he wanted to help out the family because of everything that was happening, and he just created this GoFundMe account. He had no end result for it. He had no like idea of how the money was going to be spent or anything like that. He didn't even make contact with the woman until a week after the GoFundMe account was started, which means it was already at $50-something thousand by the time he got in contact with the mama. So the GoFundMe account was a mess to begin with. That whole situation was a mess. And no matter how they decide to fund this GoFundMe account back to them, one way or another, and kind of in Clint's defense on this situation is that you can't blame the boy for his parents, but the problem is when the guy who created the GoFundMe account said that he was going to kind of circumvent the mama getting the money by making it a college fund. Problem is, by the time the boy goes to college, he'll be a racist because he's been raised that way. There's no in between to stop that from happening. He's already down with the Confederate flag. His mama's already spouting all this anti-BLM stuff. She's also, in one of her comments, and this was one of the legit comments. I mean, we got to also keep in mind that there were some comments that were put out there that were fake. It was from a fake account, a troll account. But from her actual page, and I think it was actually under the flag picture, where she made comments about kind of sounded like it was alluding to people, not complaining, but protesting police brutality. And she made the comments that get over it. You weren't there when people were picking cotton, and you weren't affected by XYZ. So just get over it. Like, really get over it? Really? Okay. So that's another problem. So she's got this left, or I don't know which political side it's on. I think it's left, but whatever. She's got that kind of mentality. She's like this Tea Party mentality and this whole racist mentality of she wants to, raise her kids in this kind of way. And at the end of the day, when Lil Keaton Jones grows up to collect this, $60,000 worth of college fund, he's going to be one of the biggest racists out there. Like you said, Clint, he probably gonna put it towards his Grand Dragon education.
You know
and
what?
keep
I'm
moving.
gonna fuck you up for that.
I'm serious. I mean, that's what they found out about his dad, was that his dad's a big racist too. So it's like there's but he's in prison, so they don't know exactly what the relationship is between him and his father. But I'm pretty sure he talks to his father. So it's not like his mama shares the idea. So the thing is that it's a big problem all the way around. Do I blame Keaton Jones for this? As a person, I don't blame Keaton Jones for this, but I can't support this GoFundMe or this whole lift up Keaton Jones without my fact checking. And that's the problem that we have in this country, is that people don't fact check. People will put information out there and jump on bandwagons and do stuff all on the strength of everybody else is doing it. And that's where the problem lies. This is why we got $58,000 in an account waiting to be distributed to either somebody's racist mama or to a kid that's going to eventually be one of the biggest racists in this country. So one way or another, we got a problem, and that's the problem with this country, is that we jump on these things and we just ride with them. Clint can probably pull back and say, hey, what about on this whole sexual assault thing? Like, yeah, it's kind of the same idea. We ride these things out until the wheels fall off, unfortunately. And the wheels are going to fall off in favor of that this time. And it's really not much we can do about it at this point other than just get smarter behind it, make better decisions, make better life choices. We got to support people who need supporting. We have to recognize when there's a problem. And the one thing that I learned from the Ashanti story and watching the difference between how her situation played out in the news versus this Keaton Jones situation, the difference is the impact, right? This newscast talked about Ashanti and talked about the impact on her parents. We all know that's tragic, unfortunately, the impact difference there is that you got the little kid speaking, right? And he's touching people's hearts, right? With his crying, with his sob story, the fact that he's, developmentally challenged, and, people are like, they're relating to his situation. And when something happens to somebody and you can't relate to it, it's a little harder, right? And then also when it's just being told third person, it's even more harder, right? Not that I'm taking anything away from Ashanti's parents, but the thing is that that's the difference, right? And this is what I think is what happened, what went wrong with these two scenarios, where the Ashanti's family should have got $68,000 to pay for the child's funeral, pay for the other child's, therapy, and to pay for their therapy and all the other things that they're probably going through now because their 10-year-old hung herself in a closet because of things that happened to her in school, and not even in school, outside of school, and on social media. That's the problem that we have here, and the fact that we don't attach to the right things, So I think that's where we have to kind of focus our strength on and learn from these situations. Talk to your kids. That's the number one thing you can do, is talk to your kids. I talked to mine. I sat both of my kids down, told them, what happened with the Ashanti situation. Explained to them, don't hide your feelings about certain situations and things, when you can get help. And don't feel like that, you're the only one going through them, because everybody is. There's a lot of people who go through these same situations, these same scenarios. Tell somebody. And if you see it happening, don't sit back and let it happen, because you might think that somebody is handling it, or that somebody is brushing it off and that they're okay, but not everybody is okay. Yeah, they may laugh about it. They might say, oh, it's cool, but deep down inside, it's not okay and it's not cool. So you got to say something and raise your hand about what's going on. That's the best way to handle this going forward.
I picked my daughter up from school Wednesday, and every time I go pick her up, Daddy, she runs to me, her screaming all loud. You feel me? Making a spectacle. All right, baby, go get your stuff. Just go get her stuff, and then she come back, she crying. What you crying for? You know what I mean? Because it just happened real quick. I'm like, what you crying for? Now, mind you, this is after I found out about the Shanti Davis, Imani. A crazy situation. And such and such just called me a baby. You know what I mean? And he's been picking on me like this. You feel me? Like immediately after I found this out, and this happened right then and there. You feel me? So at first, like, I had to catch myself. Yeah. My emotions started getting the best of me real quick. You know what I mean? It triggered something in me real quick. You know what I mean? Especially when I seen a tear. I'm like, ho. First of all, stop crying. Don't let nobody opinion of you, make you cry. You ain't about to cry for nobody in here. But now I'm looking at all the kids, you feel me? And I'm directing what I'm saying to all the kids, you feel me? And like the dude who run it, he like, I'm going to get him, But I'm like, nah, I'm about to say this now, because like I don't want her to ever, first of all, I want her to know Daddy got her back. Yeah. No matter what, you feel me? I'll make a fool out of myself to prove I got your back. You feel me? Eventually, he got the little boy real quick, made the little boy come apologize. And I told her to accept his apology. You know what I mean? I was like, but don't let this happen again. And like Willie said, when we get in the car, I start talking to her, and I'm explaining to her, like, don't let nobody opinion of you, especially somebody that don't really know you, affect you in that way. Don't hold nothing in. Don't allow yourself to be bullied. It's not good. Speak up at all times. Yeah. And come talk to me. You feel me? Come talk to your mom. Be open with us at all times. We're not here to judge you and none of that. I got to have these conversations with her because, growing up, I necessarily wasn't really bullied. I had them issues where, I was tried or what have you, but I wasn't never really bullied. I never really had that issue. So I don't understand that part. But I had fought depression since I was about 9, 10 years old. You know what I mean? I'm talking about severe. And I couldn't explain it. It's something like as a kid, you really can't articulate it. You don't know where it comes from. You know what I mean? Next thing I know, I'm sitting in the corner in my room, balled up, crying. And I don't know why. Next thing I know, I'm at my dad's house. I'm walking around singing a song. I want to die, I want to die, I want to die, I want to die, I want to die. Literally. You know, where's this coming from? Where's these emotions coming from? You know what I mean? I don't know. I really can't explain it. So I'm holding it in. You know, holding it in to the point to where, you know, almost did what I was talking about. You understand? So that's why I thought, you know, you could talk to your kids. You know, my mom was always trying to sit me down, talk to me, you know, and they wonder why I was moody, you know, because in our community, you know, we're not taught, you know, we ain't depressed, you know what I mean? We ain't going to talk to nobody. Like, ain't nothing wrong with us. You know what I mean? Right. So as kids, you hear that, you know, so you keep that in, you know. At the same time, I don't know where these feelings coming from. I don't have the words. I'm not, you know, experienced enough to articulate myself properly to explain to them what's going on. So they don't know probably I need to go talk to somebody else. Yeah. You know, I'm not reaching out to nobody else. I'm just keeping it in. And so I could see when people, you know, I could be like, I was explaining to a friend of mine, me and her was real close in junior high. You feel me? And I really had to apologize to her because I was like, you know what? You know, I felt like a fraud because a lot of times when I was in school, I was really putting up a front. I was really hiding who I truly was. Most of the time when I was laughing and playing around with you feel me, I go to the bathroom, look in the mirror, and truly hated what I seen. You feel me? So I really couldn't be, I really wasn't I wasn't true to myself. I didn't even know who I was. You understand? I was in a relationship with some girl, and it used to piss me off when she said, and Red, basically like that, when she was on shit. You could tell you. I used to get real pissed off when she used to be like, Clint, I know you. I'd be like, no, you don't. The hell you talking about? You know, but you don't know me. I don't even know me. Mind you, we like 17, 18 at this time. You know what I mean? So it's imperative, you know, I mean, I try to reinforce. So with my daughter, I try to reinforce it because I experience it. I live it. You feel me? It's a constant battle. It's an everyday battle. That don't go away. Right. You know what I mean? Like, come to find out later on in life, when I'm in college, you know, we're in psychology class, we talk about depression. I call my dad, you know, he's like, man, talk to her. Depression he fought through it.
Yeah, I mean, like, that shit is real.
Yeah, I'm like, I never knew that. Why you ain't say nothing? My mom, same thing. I'm like, well, the two people who I really needed to talk to, who really knew what I was going through, I never had that conversation with growing up. You know what I mean? So you gotta reinforce it, and you have to understand that sometimes you gotta be patient with your child. They may not be able to verbalize and tell you what's going on with them. You know what I mean? But you gotta be, you know what I mean? You gotta be there. You gotta pay attention to signs. You know what I mean? When they moody.
We do have to be open to therapy. We got to be open to having them talk to somebody who can professionally help them, because we don't have all the answers anyway. So you know, sometimes you may need that assistance, and don't be afraid to ask for it. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. I mean, that's something I really want to touch on. Like, I cried like a baby when I read that story about them two little girls. You feel me? I really cried like a baby because I felt it. You know what I mean? I felt it. You know, that girl hung herself because, you know, there was so much emotion running through her. So much emotion running through her that at that young age, you don't know how to contain it. You don't know how to verbalize it. You feel like don't nobody understand you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't see the big picture. You're a child. So, you know what I mean? You don't really see life beyond, you know what I mean, where you at. You don't understand you're going to have, you know what I mean, you're going to be an adult much longer than you are a child. You know what I mean? You don't see that. You don't understand that. You feel me? So, like, I felt that in my, to the bottom of my, every fiber in my body, I felt it. You know what I mean? I felt it. And then when they say Imani seen the story, and she just reenacted what she seen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You feel me? They put her on punishment, on timeout. Parents put her on timeout. With Imani, and when she went to timeout, that's what she did. She killed herself.
They had to feel so. They probably felt so bad about that.
Yeah, but they not really to blame. The child not really to blame. It's just one of those situations to where it's like, wow. You know what I mean? I feel bad for the parents. We all parents. You discipline your child. You ain't really at least we ain't no child abusers.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like we don't hate. Like we ain't trying to do nothing to harm our child. We're trying to teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
First thing you just can't do, but she did. When she probably already got these thoughts in her head. You feel me? She not speaking on it. Kids see much more than what they let on. They know, you know what I mean? Like I tell people as adults, like y'all gotta remember when y'all was kids, man. Y'all picked up on stuff. I know I picked up on stuff.
Yeah, I know I did. I was like a little investigative reporter.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and I never said nothing. You feel me? To these days,
I remember so many times situations happening, and I was like, this, like y'all don't like nobody see this shit. Like y'all don't, like nobody know what's happening because I know something ain't right. Like, and then you get told mind your business, stay in the child's place, but you knew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had conversations with my mom to this day, and I could bring up stuff from back in the day, and she'd be like, she look at me crazy.
Like she didn't know you was even paying attention. That's tough.
You like 7, 8 years old. How you? I remember that vividly. Right. You feel me? Some things haunt me still at night. You feel me? Like I remember it vividly.
Yeah, I don't think they realize how much we pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah, and you have to be aware of that now. Sometimes I have to catch myself. Because even when, me and my daughter, Mom, like, we have a back and forth. Sometimes, you feel me, I may say something or get upset, and then I have to, when it's over, I'm like, oh, my goodness. You feel me? Mila, why did I do that when you heard it? So now when, you feel me, I got to reaffirm, I got to talk to her and explain to her, what was going on. Apologize to her for seeing that. Let her know, whatever was going on between me and your mom, you had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Me and Mom not mad at you at all. You feel me? You not the problem. It's just us adults being fools, having a problem. You know what I mean? So, like, those things are important.
Yeah.
Important. You feel me? And even as adults, with our friends, not just our kids, with our friends, you have to pay attention to our friends as well, because suicide is real, man.
That's why I say you never know when you talk to somebody. You never know, like you see people. Sometimes I know I'm random. I have this one homeless guy that I talk to all the time. Every time I see him, we have a conversation. I don't know that man. I don't even know his name, but we sit there like, how's your day? I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, he told me one time he had surgery and stuff. He had some stuff going on with his heart. And I said, well, I'm glad. It's good to see you, blah, blah, blah. I'm hoping you got somewhere to go when it get cold. We just have shit about just stupid stuff. But I talk to him all the time. When I get a couple bills loose, I give it to him. Or if I see him, he like, do you got any money? I'm like, I'll get you on my way back. But I always make it my business just to have a conversation with him.
Yeah. You feel me? For real.
Because you never know where people head at.
You never know where your kids head at. Like, I'm telling you could be living with somebody your whole life and sometimes not really know what they going through.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, when we had the story when we had your sister on.
Yeah.
You said right then and there, that's when you like, Dad, I didn't know you felt like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, she didn't know, I didn't know how she felt. She didn't know how I felt. We grew up in the same damn house.
Yeah.
It's real.
It be like it. Like life is deep like that. Life is deep like that.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? So I try to tell my brothers and sisters, my daughter, be like, man, listen, don't something bothers you, speak up. Don't hold it in. You know what I mean? Let it out. Feel me? Love is here. Love is here. You feel me? I'm not gonna judge you. If I feel better as the older I get. I tell people, you go back and read my poetry. A lot of poetry I write. I was like, the know me is know my poetry is to know me. If you read between the lines and allow my poetry, I talk about that.
Yeah.
You feel me? I talk about suicidal thoughts. I talk about going through depression. Talk about those mood swings.
That's real.
You know what I mean? You feel me? So it's like, you gotta find an outlet. That's really why I started writing. That's really why I started writing from the door. I couldn't sleep at night. You know what I mean? So much stuff was running through my head. I couldn't. You know what I mean? It was driving me crazy. I had to get it out. I didn't know who to talk to. You feel me? I ain't want to die. You feel me? And that's the only way I got to save myself. I had to write to myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's life. That's life. Like now, as we get older, the older I get, the more I talk freely about it. So hopefully, if I can help one person,
yeah,
you know what I mean, or I can convince a parent or a sibling to talk to their siblings or whatever and help them, you know what I mean, open somebody out, then I feel like, all right, whatever I went through was worth it to help somebody else. You know what I mean?
That's how we gotta look at it. Like our life story. Like we're not the only people that's going through it. We not like how you get so wrapped up in your own problem. You think that you got like the worst luck. Your life is just fucked up. And it's just you. Sometimes it's not just you. It's other people that actually understand what you're going through. They've been through it. They've probably been through it more times than they care to even mention. But it's real, and that's how they feel. So it's always good to share like what's going on with you or share like your stories because somebody else will be like, I went through that too, and I'm glad. Or they might be going through it, and you shared your story, and like they're like, wow, I didn't know, I thought it was just me or stuff like that, or I didn't know what to do. I ain't had nobody to talk to. That's why I kind of, with my son autism, I spoke out and talked about it, even though I was still understanding it and taking it in. I talked about it because I know a lot of people that's going through it that don't talk about it, and they struggling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still struggling, but I talk about it because I feel like that's a part of me dealing,
I actually was talking to a friend about the situation. I was like, I know it's a struggle for her. I know it is. You feel me? But the way she's handling it is admirable to me. Because we all can sit here and say what we would do if we were in a certain situation, but you don't really know it until you actually live it.
Yeah.
And I know myself. I know that would be a trying situation for me.
Yeah.
Of course, it's going to be my child. I'm going to love my child, so I'm going to do what I have to do. But will I handle it? How would I really handle it? I can't speak on it. All I can speak on, I see how you handling it, and in my opinion, you handle it admirably.
Yeah, day by day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I said, like you just said, you inspired me. You inspired. So I really sometimes you can't, certain things you can't complain about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Certain things you really can't complain about, especially when it comes to kids, because like you said, like my boy, he got twins. So sometimes when I be talking about when I'm going through how my daughter's stretching me out, I'm like, man, he got twins the same age.
Right.
You feel me?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he getting double trouble. You know what I mean? I don't envy him at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sometimes we got to count our blessings.
Yeah, I mean, everybody going through it, and you think you got to work, somebody else got it 10 times worse. It's all about how you deal with things and how you take things, and then you like sometimes when you get so much stuff, you got to find an outlet. Like you have to find your outlet, because when you got a lot going on, you got to find your peace. You got to get it, because if you lose your peace, you're gonna be running like a chicken with your head cut off and don't know if you're coming or going and just lost. And you can't help nobody if you lost.
That's why I always stress about loving yourself. You gotta learn to love yourself.
Yeah.
You feel me?
True.
You know, it took me. I'm 34. It took me 34 years to really, you know what I mean, to be like you could fake it. You could fake it. You know what I mean? You can have confidence and, you know what I mean, determination. Like, man, like, I know I'm better than this. But like, it's like you could try to convince yourself instead of actually really being convinced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a huge difference. You know, like when I got sick. So imagine me telling you all that, how I felt growing up. I still deal with it constantly, and then I get sick.
Yeah.
So now I can't even do the things that I normally can do that would give me confidence.
Right.
You feel me? I can't go out and play. You know, I could play basketball. I could flip. I could do all these different type of things that I used to, you know what I mean? That's physical things. You know, simple things now, simple things. Walking up steps is a struggle. So now it's like, wow. It's like, wow. Now you feel like half a man. You know what I mean? You feel like half a man. You feel me? So that's why, you know, I can't deal with no woman right now. Why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even feel confident in myself as a man. I don't even feel like a man. What I'm going to do for a woman? So you got to take that time to yourself. Got to learn to love yourself now. That's what I did. That's what you know what I mean? Learn it. So then when you love yourself, then you can give love. You feel me?
On Christmas Day? Give love on Christmas Day. On Christmas
That's one thing I want to. You know, I don't like. You know how I don't like when people put things on their kids. Like, man, I'm living for my kids. I'm doing this for my kids. I like, even when I didn't have a kid, I hated that. Like, don't do that. Don't put that pressure on them. You feel me? Like, don't. That's not their response. Your happiness isn't their responsibility. It is, you feel me? No grown person's happiness should be a child's responsibility. I'm doing this for my kids. This, that. Nah, you're doing it for yourself and showing your kids how to love themselves as well.
Exactly.
You feel me? You know, so it's like, I can't tell my daughter to love herself if I don't love me.
True.
You feel me? I see she gonna look at me sideways. Daddy, you don't even believe what you telling me. So now I gotta show her. You feel me? I gotta show her.
Right.
You feel me? I gotta show her, and I gotta do it for me. I gotta show her that I'm doing this for me. You know what I mean? I'm doing this for me. My number one, I can't make you happy unless I'm happy.
Exactly.
You feel me? So I got to make myself happy, and in turn, I guarantee you'll be happier.
And that's a fact.
Yeah, because I've experienced it with my parents. I talked to my mom, and God bless my dad about it too. And I tell you, know, that's one thing. Like, as I got older, I started getting real straightforward with them. That helped me cope too. But I used to tell them, I was like, man, whatever y'all used to go through, y'all used to take that out on me.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You feel me? Like, I mean, like, and they look at me like it's nothing they can say. You feel me? Like, y'all used to take y'all pain out on me. You feel me? You know what they say? You hurt the closest people to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
The ones you love the most, you hurt the most.
Yeah, when hurt people.
Yeah, hurt people. You feel me? And, you know, they seen where I was coming from. They knew it. You know, but I never want to do that to my daughter. You feel me?
Right.
I don't never want her to be. I don't want to snap at her because I'm mad at something. You gotta be like, nah, she ain't got nothing to do with that.
Right.
Yeah. So, but we about to wrap this show, guys. We need to get to one of our. We need to get to one of our topics.
Well, what's one of our topics?
The last one. I said we ain't get to the last topic.
What was the last topic?
With the slave trade.
Who?
Libya.
Wow.
Yeah, we got. Hey, if we could definitely got to get to that next week though.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is the question is, what do you do? You know, I was watching a video about, what do you do? You know, what should you say? How should you, try to affect change there and that kind of thing? And so I think that's definitely a question to pose to the audience is what should we be out here doing? What impact can we make? Because the government definitely ain't gonna do nothing about it. It's not making them no money stopping it, so they don't see the importance of preventing what's happening over there.
In my opinion, that's what they wanted. That's what I really, because we could definitely get into that. I'm sorry I went on my little tangent about but I feel like that's
you
what
fine.
They wanted that. They wanted that to happen over there. They wanted that chaos. Just like how they just got Mugabe out of there. Just how they got Fidel Castro. Notice, America always try to get rid of the dictators who don't really want to do business with them.
Exactly. That's true.
They always, you know what I mean? Like they put that propaganda out there about Fidel for so long. All because he didn't want them to colonize or want them to have control. So they put them embargoes on him and then tried to say he was starving his people. No, y'all was starving him. Y'all wouldn't do business with him because he didn't want to give y'all power. That's the same thing what just happened over there with in 2011 with Gaddafi. You know what I mean? Gaddafi was trying to unify everybody. Like, nah, we don't want y'all over here in our country doing whatever y'all want to do. So Hillary went over there. You know what I mean? Hillary a killer, baby. Yeah, you heard what she said about it. You know what I mean? We came, we saw, he died.
Yeah.
And she laughed. And now, look at the country. It has fell into civil war. Feel me? Slavery. You know, like it's crazy. America definitely had their hands in that.
Yeah. Well, we definitely got to touch. We definitely got to touch on that though. Next week, we definitely got to do it. Put that up in the lineup. Yes. But thank you guys for listening to tonight. If you, like you said, if you missed the show, I posted on 30 Touches on SoundCloud, iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, YouTube, and of course blogtalkradio.com. Check us out there. You know, looking for us, GFT Radio. We're there. Guys, you want to say goodnight? You got the information?
Well, y'all know where y'all can hit me up.
Yep.
Go ahead, Willie.
Oh, no, I'll wrap it up. Yeah, this is your boy Willie Styles, STYLEZ. Definitely check me out at Willie Styles. I'm pretty much at Willie Styles everywhere, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Unfortunately, I'm not on most of my channels a lot lately, but hopefully I'll change that soon. But you can always catch me at stylesradio.com. That's where you probably can see most of my updates at. Lots of new music, lots of new artists that are coming out. I'm promoting, I'm pumping them up. So check that page out. Then also, check out our podcast and everything. But remember, you can't miss these shows. They're on demand. They're always available. blogtalkradio.com/GFT radio show. Hit us up.
Yes, sir. Y'all know where y'all can hit me at my blog site at kingstruth.com. I'm on Instagram, BlackLAQ. Hit me up on Snapchat at King's Truth as well. And, that's about it. I'll let your boy.
Yes, and of course.
Twitter. At eTrainGroomy. My bad, Sonny.
Okay, you good. I am Sonny_D. Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. I'm real official with it. Hit me up on my blog, unreservedlyme.com. I'm actually doing a photo blog challenge for the month of December, so check that out. Good night, guys. See y'all. What, Clint?
Catch y'all in 7 days.
Holla.
Bye.
Ready, set, holiday. With Dunkin' Donuts holiday coffees, get your holiday spirits soaring like Rudolph with a peppermint mocha latte or a brown sugar cinnamon iced macchiato. These extra special holiday flavors are a cup of cheer during the busy season. From finding and wrapping that perfect gift to setting up the decorations, try a special holiday coffee today and set your mood to merry. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Ready, set, holiday. With Dunkin' Donuts holiday coffees, get your holiday spirits soaring like Rudolph with a peppermint mocha latte or a brown sugar cinnamon iced macchiato. These extra special holiday flavors are a cup of cheer during the busy season. From finding and wrapping that perfect gift to setting up the decorations, try a special holiday coffee today and set your mood to merry. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.